She said she needed closure and took my car to go on a road trip with her ex. That was the text that shattered my chest at 2:43 p.m. on a random Wednesday. I remember staring at my phone, rereading it over and over, hoping the words would rearrange themselves into something less insane. But no, it was real. The woman I loved, the mother of my child, had just told me she was driving cross-country with the man she once swore she never wanted to see again. And she was doing it in my car. My name is Daniel Foster. I'm 35 years old, and until 2 weeks ago I thought my life was stable. Not perfect, but stable. I had a steady job at a logistics firm, a modest house I'd inherited after my father passed, and a partner, Melissa, who I believed was my person. We weren't married, but we'd been together almost 9 years. We had a daughter, Emma, 6 years old, who was the light of my life. I built everything around them. And then, like a cruel joke, everything started unraveling faster than I could even understand. I guess it started when Melissa reconnected with her ex, Evan. It sounded innocent at first. She told me he'd messaged her after his dad died that he was struggling, and she just wanted to be there for him as a friend. I wasn't thrilled, obviously, but I didn't want to be the jealous boyfriend who forbade her from having contact with an old flame. I trusted her. God help me, I trusted her. Then came the closure talk. One night after putting Emma to bed, Melissa sat me down at the kitchen table. She looked nervous, like she was rehearsing something in her head. "Dan," she began softly, "I think I need some time to figure things out." "Figure what out?" I asked, my stomach dropping. "Us, me, everything," she said. "I feel stuck. I feel like I don't even know who I am anymore. Evan offered to go on a road trip, kind of a soul-searching thing, and I think it might help." I actually laughed, though there was nothing funny about it. "You're telling me you want to figure out your life by going on a road trip with your ex?" "It's not like that," she said quickly, tears already forming. "It's just closure. He's part of my past, and I need to understand that before I can move forward." "With me?" I asked. She didn't answer. That silence said everything. The next morning she was gone. She took my car, the gray Honda Civic I'd saved for years to buy, and left a note on the counter. It wasn't even handwritten. She printed it from her phone. "Please don't hate me," it said. "I need to do this for me." Emma asked where Mommy went. I told her Mommy was taking a trip to clear her head. She nodded like kids do when they don't understand but pretend to. I called Melissa's mom that night. We'd always had a cordial relationship, though I could tell she never fully approved of me. "Oh, Danny," she sighed when I told her. "She's been restless for a long time. Maybe she just needs to see what she's missing before she realizes what she has." "What she's missing," I repeated. "She's missing her daughter, her family, me." "She loves you," her mom said gently. "But Melissa's always had a wandering heart. I thought you knew that when you got involved." That cut deeper than she probably meant it to. The days after that blurred together. I went to work. I picked up Emma from school. I tried to cook, but most nights ended in takeout and silence. Every time my phone buzzed, I jumped, hoping it was Melissa saying she was coming home, but it never was. Instead, the messages came from other people. My sister, Sarah, called to say Mom had heard what happened and was worried about my emotional state, which, translated from my family's language, meant they were gossiping behind my back. "You okay, Danny?" Sarah asked in that overly soft tone that meant she didn't actually want the truth. "No," I said flatly, "but I don't think you actually care." "That's not fair." "Neither is getting left for an ex," I snapped and hung up. I regretted it immediately, but pride stopped me from calling back. Mom texted later, "We're all praying for you. God works in mysterious ways." Yeah, well, sometimes those ways suck. A week later, I got a call from my cousin Tyler. He works as a mechanic in a small town 2 states away. "Hey man," he said, hesitating. I think I saw your car." My heart stopped. "What, where?" "At a motel just off Highway 14. Gray Civic, plates match. There was a woman brunette about Melissa's height arguing with some guy outside. Looked heated. I didn't even know what to say. She looked rough, dude, Tyler added, like she'd been crying. That image haunted me. Melissa crying, alone, in a parking lot with her ex, while I was home explaining to our daughter why mommy wasn't at her dance recital. That night after putting Emma to bed, I sat in the dark living room staring at the ceiling. My father's voice echoed in my head, the one thing he'd ever said that stuck. Love doesn't fall apart in a day. It cracks quietly, piece by piece, until there's nothing left to save. When I inherited this house after Dad died, I thought it was a blessing. Now it felt like a curse, a museum of everything that used to be stable in my life. The framed pictures on the wall, Melissa holding baby Emma, me grinning like an idiot, were ghosts now. 2 weeks passed, no word from Melissa, no apology, no explanation, just silence. Until she came back. I'll never forget that morning. It was 6:30 a.m. I was getting Emma ready for school when I heard the familiar hum of my car pulling into the driveway. I opened the door and there she was standing next to it, wearing the same jacket she'd left in but older somehow. Her hair was tangled, eyes red, face pale. "Hey," she said softly. "Hey," I repeated, stunned. "That's all you have to say?" She flinched. "Can I come in?" I looked at her, then at Emma, who was peeking from behind me. "Mommy," Emma said uncertainly. Melissa knelt, crying, hugging her. "Hi baby, mommy's home." For a second I almost broke. Seeing them together, it triggered something primal. But then I noticed her car keys trembling in her hand, and I knew this wasn't over. After dropping Emma at school, we sat at the kitchen table, the same table where she'd told me she needed closure. "So," I said, my tone sharper than I meant, "did you find your closure?" She wiped her eyes. "Evan and we talked, we fought, he's a mess. I realized I don't want that life, I just needed to see it for myself." I laughed bitterly. "You didn't need to see it in my car." "I know, I'm sorry," she whispered. "I was selfish. I panicked. I thought I was missing something and I didn't know how to face you." "Face me?" I said. "You disappeared for 2 weeks, Melissa. Emma cried every night. I thought you were dead." She sobbed. "I didn't mean to hurt you, I swear." But I didn't believe her. Over the next few days, she tried to slip back into routine, making breakfast, packing lunches, folding laundry as if nothing had happened. But everything felt wrong. The smell of her shampoo in the bathroom made me nauseous. The sight of my car in the driveway made me angry. I wanted to forgive her, for Emma's sake. But every time I looked at her, I saw the empty passenger seat beside her, the one that used to be mine. Then came the real betrayal. I found the hotel receipts in her purse, dates that overlapped with her road trip. 2 nights paid for, both under Evan's name. When I confronted her, she broke down. "I didn't sleep with him," she insisted. "I swear, Dan, I did." I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to, but I'd been lied to too many times. "Then why not tell me about the hotels?" I asked. "Because I knew you wouldn't believe me either way," she said. "You've already made up your mind." "Maybe," I admitted, "but you gave me every reason to." That night she slept on the couch. I didn't sleep at all. I just sat in bed, staring at the dark ceiling, thinking about Emma, about the family I was supposed to protect. In the morning I called my mom, told her everything. "Well," she said after a long pause, "you've got to decide what kind of man you want to be. The forgiving kind, or the one who teaches people not to cross him." I laughed softly. "Is that supposed to be advice?" "It's reality," she said. "Your father forgave me once for something he shouldn't have, and it changed him. Forgiveness is noble, Danny, but it comes with a cost." Her words stuck. I've been living with that cost ever since. Melissa is still here, we're trying, I guess, but nothing feels the same. The trust is gone, the love feels fractured, and sometimes when she hugs me, I wonder if she's hugging the version of me she left behind. Some nights I replay everything in my head. Her text, her face when she came home, the hotel receipts, and I wonder if I forgive her completely, does that make me strong or just a fool? Because at the end of the day, I still love her. I hate that I do, but I do. And maybe that's the cruelest part of all, that you can love someone who's hurt you more than anyone else ever could. So Reddit, tell me honestly, when someone betrays your trust so deeply, do they deserve a second chance? Or am I just clinging to the ghost of the family I thought I had? After that morning, things settled into an uneasy truce. Melissa tried to slip back into our old life, but it was like trying to plug a leak with tissue paper. Every laugh felt forced, every dinner conversation loaded. Even Emma seemed to sense the tension, asking questions I didn't want to answer. "Daddy, why did Mommy go away?" she asked one night, brushing her hair before bed. I froze, staring at the little face that looked exactly like hers. "Mommy needed to figure some things out," I said, carefully neutral. "But you cried every night," she said softly. I swallowed hard. "Yeah, I missed her a lot." Her little frown twisted my heart. I wanted to tell her the truth, that Mommy almost broke our family, that I almost lost everything, but she was 6. 6. How do you explain betrayal to someone who still believes the world is full of heroes and happy endings? Meanwhile, my parents were slowly inserting themselves into the drama. Dad, bless him, had died years ago, but Mom seemed to have taken on the role of referee or maybe prosecutor. She'd call every other day, asking how Melissa was doing, asking if I'd forgiven her yet, slipping in comments like, "Melissa's trying so hard, Daniel, you have to see that." Or, "Sometimes people make mistakes, dear. You have to let her prove she's changed." I wanted to scream at her, "Mom, she almost destroyed my family." But I didn't, because my mother had this way of speaking that made you feel selfish for being upset, even when your life was falling apart. Sarah, my sister, was worse. She took Melissa's side from day one. I couldn't even call her without her asking, "Are you sure you're being fair? Maybe she really needed this time." Fair, fair. She almost abandoned her own daughter for crying out loud. And Jason, I almost forgot about him. My brother had been silent during the chaos, probably enjoying watching me flounder, but the other night, he showed up unannounced. I was cleaning the kitchen when he strolled in, hands in his pockets, smirk on his face. "Wow," he said, leaning against the counter. "Looks like life finally taught you a lesson." "What lesson is that?" I asked, trying not to punch him. "That maybe people aren't what you think they are," he said casually. "Maybe your precious Melissa isn't the perfect girl you married in your head." I froze. "She's my family," I said tightly. "Family?" he laughed. "Family doesn't just betray each other and expect forgiveness on demand, Danny. Wake up." He left before I could respond, and I hated myself for the part of me that agreed with him. That weekend, Melissa suggested we take Emma on a little trip, something normal, to remind ourselves of why we were a family. I reluctantly agreed. Hopping that fresh air and a change of scenery might help. We drove 3 hours to a small lakeside cabin that I used to visit as a kid. It was peaceful. Birds chirping, water lapping against the shore, Emma laughing as she skipped rocks. For a few hours, I almost felt normal again. Almost. Melissa tried to talk while we were sitting on the dock. "I know I hurt you," she said softly, staring at the water. "I know it may take forever to make it up to you, but I swear I didn't. I was." Her voice faltered. "You were what?" I asked. She looked at me, eyes wide and honest. "I wasn't thinking straight. I was scared. I missed something I thought I needed. But I realized it's not what I wanted. It's you. It's Emma. I lost my way for a little while." I wanted to believe her. I really did. And for a moment I almost did. But then I remembered the hotel receipts, the texts I'd found, the empty seat in my car, the nights she wasn't there, the fear in Emma's eyes. And I realized forgiveness isn't simple. It isn't a switch you flip. It's a battle you fight every single day. On the last night of that trip, I found myself staring at the lake alone. Melissa had tucked Emma into bed early, probably because she knew I needed space. My phone buzzed, a text from my sister. "Maybe you should just let it go, Danny. Everyone makes mistakes." I stared at it and then deleted it. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone thinks they know what's right. But in the middle of this mess, I realized the only voice that matters is mine. And my choice isn't easy. I can let Melissa back in fully, risk being hurt again, and try to rebuild what we lost, or I can walk away, protect myself and Emma, and leave behind the woman I still love despite everything. I drove back from the lake the next morning with Emma asleep in the backseat. Melissa was reading a book beside me, quiet. I wanted to reach out, touch her hand, tell her I forgave her, or maybe that I didn't. But I didn't, because I wasn't sure, and that uncertainty felt heavier than anything I'd ever carried. When we got home, my parents were waiting at the door, smiling nervously. Mom said, "Daniel, we missed you all." I looked at them, really looked, and I saw something I hadn't before. Their approval wasn't unconditional. Their love came with judgment, with rules, with expectations that weren't mine to meet. And maybe Melissa's choices weren't the only ones I had to question. That night I sat at the kitchen table with Melissa. Emma was asleep upstairs. Silence stretched between us until I finally said, "I don't know if I can trust you." "I know," she whispered. "I don't expect you to yet, I hope I can earn it back." "And if you can't?" I asked. She looked down, tears slipping silently. "Then, I guess we'll have to find our own way." And that's where we are now. At the crossroads of love and betrayal, family and self-preservation, hope and despair. I don't know what comes next. I don't know if Melissa will stay, if I'll forgive, if Emma will understand when she's older. All I know is that sometimes, even the people you love the most can break you, and the hardest part isn't the betrayal. It's deciding whether to let them back in. So Reddit, tell me, if the person you love hurt you in ways that shook the foundation of your family, would you forgive them? Or would walking away be the only way to survive?